There is a scientist who claimed he could clone human beings. The world believed him completely. He became a national hero. Then it turned out none of it was real. I am a surgeon. Stem cell research could change everything I do in the operating room. Organ rejection, spinal repair, custom tissue for every patient. One man lied about all of it. February 2004. A laboratory in Seoul announced the impossible. A cloned human embryo. A stem cell line grown from it. The world's top scientific journal published every word. By 2005, he was untouchable. National funding, a royal title, global fame. 2 years later, investigators discovered there was no cloned stem cell line at all. None had ever existed. This is not just a story about fraud. It is a story about what a nation will believe when hope is offered, and what a person will do to protect that hope. Hwang Woo-suk was born in 1953 in rural South Korea. His father died when he was 5. His mother raised 6 children alone. Young Hwang tended the family's 3 cows. He studied veterinary medicine at Seoul National University. Theriogenology, the science of animal reproduction. He earned his doctorate in 1982 and joined the university faculty 4 years later. In 1996, scientists in Scotland cloned a sheep named Dolly. It stunned the world. Hwang later said this moment changed the direction of his entire career. He wanted to be the one who did it next. Not with a sheep, with something bigger, something that would put his country and his name on the world map. February 1999. Hwang announced he had cloned a dairy cow. He named her Yongrong-i. Korean media celebrated a scientific first. He never published any verifiable data to support the claim. 2 months later, he announced a second cloned cow. The president of South Korea personally suggested her name. No data was published for this animal either. The pattern was already forming. In 2000, Hwang claimed to have cloned a pig. Still no verifiable evidence, still widespread media coverage, still government funding increasing year after year without independent confirmation. By 2003, he claimed a cow resistant to mad cow disease. The president visited his lab in person. He watched a dog supposedly healed by stem cells and called it magic. None of these animal claims from 1999 to 2003 were ever independently verified. This matters. The fraud people remember started in 2004. The pattern of unverified claims started 5 years earlier. Hwang received award after award for work no outside scientist had confirmed. Funding kept flowing. No one in power asked the obvious question: why was there never any published proof? In 2002, Hwang partnered with a fertility doctor named Moon Shin-yong. Together, they began working on something far more ambitious than cows or pigs: human embryonic stem cells. February 2004, Science Journal published their claim: a human embryo cloned. A stem cell line derived from it. 242 donated eggs made the breakthrough possible, they said. The implications were staggering. Custom-matched tissue for any patient. No immune rejection. Treatments for diabetes, Parkinson's, spinal injuries. Bush had restricted stem cell funding in America. Korea seemed to be winning. June 2005. The Korean government named Hwang the nation's first supreme scientist. The title alone was worth $15 million. He had already secured 27 million more that year. May 2005, a second science paper. 11 stem cell lines, each matched to a patient. 185 donated eggs, Hwang claimed. Investigators would later find the real number was far higher. August 2005. Hwang's team cloned a dog, an Afghan hound named Snuppy. This claim, unlike the others, would eventually be confirmed as genuine by 2 independent scientific reviews. For one summer, Hwang stood at the peak of global science. A leading journal published his work twice. A government built him a research empire. Nothing seemed able to stop him. November 12, 2005. His American research partner, Gerald Shatton, ended their collaboration without warning. His stated reason was serious ethical concerns about how the human eggs had actually been obtained. November 21. A hospital director admitted paying 20 women for their eggs, roughly $1,400 each. This was not how Hwang had described his research to the public. The next day, a Korean investigative program aired new evidence. Junior members of Hwang's own laboratory had been pressured into donating their eggs. National outrage followed almost immediately. Advertisers pulled their ads from the network. Hwang's supporters sent threats to the journalists. The program was pulled off the air for 5 weeks under sustained public pressure. December 5, 2005. Even after the accusations, the South Korean president's office reaffirmed its full support for Hwang. The following day, 43 lawmakers formed an official group to defend him. December 11. Hwang requested his own university investigate him. He likely believed the results would clear his name completely. He was catastrophically wrong about what they were about to find. December 15. A collaborator admitted 9 of the 11 stem cell lines were fake. DNA testing proved all 9 had come from the exact same source. Not 11 patients. 1. December 23. The university's committee released its first finding. 9 of 11 stem cell lines were intentionally fabricated. 6 days later, a second finding. Not a single line had ever truly existed. January 10, 2006. The final report arrived. Both landmark papers were completely fabricated. Investigators found over 2,000 eggs had been used. Hwang had publicly claimed only 185. That same day, before the report's ink had even dried, over 1,000 women volunteered to donate eggs. They wanted his research to continue. Belief in him had not fully broken. January 11. The journal Science retracted both papers without condition. 1 day later, Hwang held a press conference. He apologized for the fiasco, but refused to admit he had lied. He blamed his own research team. He alleged sabotage. He claimed materials had been stolen from his laboratory. He offered no evidence for any of these counter-accusations. March 20th, 2006. Seoul National University formally dismissed him. Of everything Hwang had announced to the world since 1999, exactly one claim would ever be independently verified: the cloned dog. 2 separate scientific reviews confirmed Snuppy was real. But every claim about human cloning was fake. Every promise of custom stem cells, every headline about curing paralysis, built on nothing at all. A researcher named Ryu Yong-jun had joined Hwang's lab in 2002. He helped lead the human cloning work personally. In 2005, something started to feel deeply wrong to him. 11 stem cell lines in that shorter time frame made no scientific sense to him. Key lab members were missing the whole time. Something was clearly being hidden from the public. What finally pushed him to act was different. Hwang had told a 10-year-old boy with a spinal injury that he could heal him. Ryu called this crossing a line. In June 2005, Ryu contacted an investigative television program. He had no hard evidence yet, only deep suspicion. For 6 months, he guided their reporting from behind the scenes. After the broadcast aired, his identity leaked to the public. Hwang's most devoted supporters hunted him down online. They called and cursed him. They hacked into his personal blog. Ryu was forced to quit his job. He and his family went into hiding for months. Years later, he said the affair was about using other people's sacrifice for personal glory. May 2006. Hwang was formally charged with fraud, embezzlement, and violating bioethics law. 5 members of his former research team were charged alongside him in the same case. October 2009. A Seoul court reached its verdict. Guilty of embezzling roughly $700,000 in research funds. Guilty of illegally purchasing human eggs. Acquitted of the fraud charge itself. His sentence was 2 years in prison, fully suspended. He never served a single day. The judge cited his apparent devotion to Korean science as a reason for leniency. An appeals court later reduced the sentence further. In 2014, South Korea's Supreme Court made the final ruling. 8 years of litigation ended exactly where it had always seemed to be heading. Around this same period, the American Patent Office granted Hwang a patent. It was tied to the disputed stem cell line. Most scientists still believed the line had never been real. Hwang did not disappear from cloning. In 2006, he founded a company that clones pets for wealthy clients. Roughly $100,000 per dog. Over 1,000 dogs cloned since. Today he works for the government of the United Arab Emirates. His specialty now is racing camels. One prized camel was cloned 11 years after its original death. In 2023, Netflix released a documentary about his entire life. In it, Hwang offers a single line that sounds almost like an explanation. Not pressure from others, his own ambition. He called the scandal a hard lesson learned. He did not call it what the investigators called it: deliberate, sustained, and profitable fabrication of the most consequential kind. I think about this case from inside a real operating room. Every promise Hwang made connects directly to surgery. Rejection-free organs, spinal repair, custom-grown tissue for every single patient. If any of it had been real, my field would look completely different today. It does not. Actual patients waited instead for cures that were never remotely close to real. What troubles me most is not the fabrication itself. Scientists have lied before and will lie again. It is that an entire system failed to catch it for years. A leading journal published his work twice without catching it. His own government funded him without demanding real proof. It took one journalist and one junior researcher to finally stop him. Informed consent is not a signature on a form. It is a patient or a research subject truly understanding the risk they are accepting. Many of Hwang's donors never had that. There is no monument to this story, no plaque, no statue, no official day of remembrance. Just a man in the desert now, still cloning animals, still mostly unrepentant. The stem cell lines were never real. The eggs and the young women who provided them under pressure were entirely real. That imbalance is the actual center of this story. Somewhere in South Korea, a young man once believed a doctor's promise. His damaged spine could be healed, Hwang told him. He may still be waiting for a cure that never existed. Hwang Woo-suk was never sent to prison. He works today, unrepentant, cloning animals for the wealthy. The only thing he ever proved was how easily the world wants to believe.